Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review. Today from Hasbro in their Marvel Legends series, we are featuring Secret Wars Wolverine. Alright, so this is celebrating 40 years of Secret Wars. Secret Wars was a comic book series that came out a long time ago. I think I was in the 3rd grade back in 1984. For me, I think this was the action figure I was looking forward to the most, just because I'm a huge fan of Wolverine, but more importantly, I love the color scheme. We've gotten this costume before, but the one thing I like about it is that, for me, I love the much more lighter shade of brown and orange, as opposed to the darker brown figures that we get, nowadays. This, for me, really recreates 80s Wolverine. He feels a lot shorter. The head looks kind of cool. The lenticular card features, I think, artwork of artist John Byrne, or at least someone that could draw like artist John Byrne. On the back, on a patchwork battle world, Wolverine fights a raging war alongside the X-Men, but is wary of forging alliances outside his trusted fellow mutants. Nice illustration. I think, again, this might be newer artwork that's trying to recreate the artwork from way back in the day. This kind of feels reminiscent of artist, I think, Paul Smith, who did the X-Men during the early issues, I think like 200s, I think. We have the symbiote Spider... Oh, then this is pre-symbiote Spider-Man. So I believe when Spider-Man... I think he debuts the black costume around Secret Wars, and this is pre-symbiote, so he doesn't have the symbiote just yet. We have Captain America, Iron Man, Wolverine, Titania, and the Beyonder. And then here are instructions for using the retro-inspired lenticular shield. Okay, so I got this action figure online through Amazon. I have never seen the Secret Wars line available in the wild. I saw some crazy posts that people are posting in the States that they're finding it at Ross, but I kind of find that hard to believe, but I don't know, maybe that's the case. So the figure looks great. Love the facial expression. For me, this really captures 80s Wolverine, very arrogant, very cocky. I love the hair also. This is very 80s style. It's his hair kind of flailing back, towards the back. It doesn't really flail outward towards the side. Nice artwork for the lenticular card. Again, this looks like artist John Byrne, or at least someone that draws like John Byrne. Alternate hands with the claws. And then, of course, he comes with the alternate shield insert. And be careful removing these, because if you're not careful, you go dog ear and damage them, like I did on my Beyonder figure. Here's the lenticular shield. You look at it one way, it's masked Wolverine. You look at the other way, it's Logan. And then you can take it apart. And if you want to, you can insert the generic the generic Secret Wars logo inside. Although I think most collectors are probably going to opt with the character artwork. I think it's more nostalgic. There we go. Now it's not perfect. Right, this is my OCD being crazy. Now he's crooked. Let's... Alright, that's the best I could do for now. And Wolverine's clawed hands are in the trays. And I love... God, it took forever for Hasbro to finally give us proper Wolverine hands. In the past, they always gave us those hands where the claws were removable and they're never straight. Here, these are probably the straightest claws I've gotten in such a long time. Oh, they're clean. They're nice sculpted. Again, they're very straight. And I love it how they're affixed permanently to the fist, as opposed to being able to remove them. You might be able to remove them, but I'm not going to try. Here's Wolverine, the alternate portrait. You know, he's looking a little bit grumpy. And the hairstyle is really reminiscent of like 80s John Byrne style Wolverine. You know, it's not until like some years later when Wolverine's hair kind of gets out of control and then it kind of flails outward. Alright, so this Wolverine, he feels really, really short. My first impression when I took him out, he almost feels like Cotton Hill from King of the Hill. You know, Hank's dad, the one who has no shins because he lost him in the war. Because everything seems well proportioned until you get to the lower legs. It almost feels like he's like lacking any shins. This figure stands in, if I had to guess, I'm going to say anywhere between 6 to 6.25 inches from the foot to the top of the head, not counting the points. Oh, he's shorter than that. He's a little over 5 3/4 and barely over 6 if you count the points on his horns. So he's incredibly short. Just to give you an idea of the size, here he is next to the X-Men Legends of Vulcan. Here he is next to the X-Men animated series retro, or the cel-shaded style Jean Grey. Yeah, so height-wise, they're pretty spot on. So, oh, and here he is next to the Beyonder, the antithesis of the Secret Wars. But yeah, gorgeous looking figure. I love the color scheme. Again, this for me really feels like 80s Wolverine with the yellow as opposed to the kind of like tan orange that we get nowadays. I like the lighter reddish orange shade of brown as opposed to the darker browns. He has the older style belt buckle. And let's get his claws on. Yeah, this Wolverine feels so perfect. It's awesome. I think this is like the one figure I think everyone really, really wants. And he does not want to focus. My camera's had the hardest time for some reason focusing lately, and I can't figure out for the life of me why that is. There we go. You know, so yeah, great looking figure. Love the expression on his face. It's very arrogant, very cocky. He has the hairy arms, which are sculpted on. Again, love the claws, very clean. And the articulation, you know, let's see if he can recreate some of those Wolverine poses. You know, when he's like, you know, Colossus throws him in a fastball special, or if you want to create any of those like leaping poses that, you know, Wolverine's always known for. You know, there's that one, what was it, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 248, you know, the first Jim Lee issue, where there's, the first page is a splash page, and it's Wolverine leaping at the Reavers. You know, you can recreate that pose. But, yeah, the figure feels really well done. The butterfly joints on mine, are they working? I hate butterfly joints on Marvel Legends. They're either stuck and they break, or they work perfectly. And these seem to work perfectly. I hope they're working perfectly. I've had issues with some figures on the butterfly joints where the peg is too tight, and then every time you move it, you're actually tearing the peg. But this one doesn't feel gummy. It feels like it's actually moving. So that's awesome. His head swivels. And give me a second. Let's see what he looks like with the maskless head. Yeah, this looks pretty cool too. It would have been nice if they gave us that extra piece, that hooded collar that some of the other Wolverines get. But I don't think that was necessarily a look that he would have in the 80s until I think Jim Lee did it with the mask pulled back and it rests on his shoulders. But yeah, great figure overall. You know, this is fantastic. The articulation is what you come to expect from a Marvel Legends figure. You know, nothing new. Pinless design for the elbows. You know, you have the bicep cut. Arms go outward. He has an ab crunch as opposed to a diaphragm cut, which I do prefer. You know, for me, I think you get more posability with the ab crunch. Swivel at the thigh. Clean pinless design for the knees. Boot cut, and these are really well done too, the boots. You know, Wolverine kind of has like the finned boots, and they did a good job designing these. Overall, it's such a nice figure. It's really well engineered, really well thought out. I think there's certain characters that fan expectations are really high in terms of the quality of the action figure. Like Wolverine's one of those characters where, you know, you want to get him just right. You know, you don't want any flaws in his presentation and his articulation. And this one's so much better than some of the ones we've gotten, you know, over the years. You know, I love the new improved claw design. The stockier proportions, you know, really work on this figure. And I just love the color scheme. So if you're a fan of the 80s look, this is for you. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.